Amazing. Slides are working, off to a good start. So I'm really happy to see so many of you here. I know it's your well-deserved lunch break probably, but I'm happy that you're taking these 20 to 30 minutes to hear a little bit about Recommerce and how we are using smart CRM to build our own inventory pipeline. So before we get started, just a little bit about myself. My name is Bastian Marten. I lead the sales or the commercial team for books and media at rebuy. I've been with the company for almost 4 years now. Before that, I worked for 6.5 years at Amazon in our Munich and Berlin offices across marketplace and retail. And before that, probably as many that are from Berlin, I had my start in e-commerce in the Rocket Internet universe, working for Home24. So a little bit about rebuy. So maybe a question to you first. Who knows what Recommerce is? Hands up. Okay, I see some colleagues that know what Recommerce is. That's reassuring. Okay, not that many other people. So maybe who of you has already bought something used online? Okay, around 50%. And who has already sold something used online? Okay, a little bit less, I would say 30 to 40%. Okay, so some education needed. At rebuy, we say our purpose is to make sustainability accessible to all customers. So in the past, sustainability was sometimes a topic that was very highbrow, or where you would think about being sustainable incurs more cost to you as a customer. And we want to change that perception and make sustainability a part of everyday life. And how we want to do this is by being the category authority in the categories that we are buying and selling products. So we want to have as good as a customer experience buying and selling used products as you would see on big websites like Amazon or MediaMarkt. So it should be really straightforward, no risk and no hustle. So currently, we are trading products across 2 different product categories: consumer electronics, where we buy and sell everything from smartphones to MacBooks to wearables like smartwatches. And in the media category, we buy and sell books, movies, video games, and CDs. And we actually had our start 20 years ago by buying and selling video games. Back then, we were actually called Trade a Game, and later changed our name to rebuy. So for those of you that maybe are not that familiar with Recommerce, we like to refine this as turning a line into a circle. So in a general value chain, you would see a product is being manufactured. It is being sold to a customer or a user. It has its purpose and is being used over some months or years, and then it's being recycled. So it ends up in the garbage. And we at rebuy basically try to give a product or many products a second and a third life by extracting more value from it. So we would grade the product. We would say, what's the condition of the product? We will repair products, for example, in consumer electronics, and then resell them on our website or across our different marketplace channels for other customers to use again. So of course, we are here at a very data-driven e-commerce expo. So I also brought some numbers. In 2024, we did around 220 million in net sales, and we served around 3 million customers across our 6 markets, with Germany being our largest market. We have 600 employees across our 4 facilities, 3 in Germany, 1 in Poland. And I think where we are especially proud of is that we avoided 206 tons of electronic waste or saved 32,000 trees in 2024. So now you know a little bit about rebuy and what we do, and that we have a great business model and we can actually earn money and employ people. And today I want to focus a little bit more on our media business side. So probably a lot of you know this very famous drawing by Jeff Bezos, where he explained how he sees the value creation in e-commerce, which is this flywheel, where basically a lot of different inputs influence each other and lead to more growth. And today I want to focus on, in our perspective, one very important aspect, which is the topic of selection or availability. Before we get into this, I want to show you 3 unique challenges that we have in the Recommerce business model. So for once, in a regular e-commerce store, you need to worry about prices, like what's the right price to sell a product to your customer. You need to compare your price to your competition. You need to make a margin. In Recommerce, we need to do that 2 times. So we don't just need to set a price on the site in the shop where we sell a product, but we also need to set a price that customers actually want to sell their used products to us, so we can offer them to other customers. That also means that we need to make customers on the buy and the sell side happy. So again, double the challenge than in a normal e-commerce model. And then, of course, everyone worries about availability. You want to have your most important products in stock. But in Recommerce, we can't just call our supplier and ask them to ship us a little bit more iPhones or a little bit more of the newest Harry Potter book. We need to actually go out and find customers that sell these products to us. And as you can guess, these challenges are not isolated, they are all connected. So if we have good prices on the buy and the sell side, it means we have happy customers on the buy and the sell side. And in turn, we potentially then have also good availability. But of course, that also works the other way around, that if something goes wrong, then all 3 aspects are affected. So we look at the selling cycle. So when customers want to sell something to us, or when we want to get them to sell something to us, in different stages. So first of all, there needs to be awareness. So we have a very unique business model that is not widely known, and it's also very hard to inform yourself about it. So we invest into awareness. Yeah, we do advertising, we do brand building, we make customers aware that such a service as ours exists. Then the consideration part, customers need to somehow trust us with their products, that we actually pay them in time, that we pay a fair price. And then there needs to be an intent. So the customer needs to actually find products that they want to sell to us, and that they want to acquire whether we buy these products and what the price is for these products. And then in the end, hopefully they sell the products to us and they are happy and they sell more products to us. But of course, there are again challenges. So once there is intent, the customer actually needs to have the intention to sell something to us. So they need to think about, what do I actually want to monetize, which media or consumer electronic products do I want to get rid of. Then in the second step, customers need to find the time to actually go to their shelf, collect the products they want to sell to us, use our app to see whether we buy the product and what the price is for these products. And then the last point, they actually need to have access physically to their items. So they need to be in the room with the item. They need to be able to scan the barcode of a book to see what we are paying for this book. So they can't just do it when they are commuting on the subway to work. They really need to be in their living room to scan these products. So this is all very high friction. So if any of these three factors goes wrong, or there's something that's not working out, it's very likely that the customer will just abandon the sales process. So to make that a little bit more tangible, I brought 2 examples here. So on average, we see that customers in a session, when they want to sell something to us, they ask about 15 products in a session. And we see that kind of as 15 opportunities to delight or disappoint customers. So let's take, for example, here George on the left-hand side. He scans 4 books that he wants to sell, and he gets a great price from us. So he's really happy, and he continues adding more books to the app to sell to us. And for the next 4 books, we give him an okay price. He's still moderately satisfied. And then for the last 4 books, we tell him we will not buy them. But overall, he's very happy with the amount of money he's getting for the books that we are buying. And he closes the sale to us. Then let's take Petra on the right-hand side. For the first 4 books that she wants to sell to us, we tell her we are not buying them right now. There might be different reasons. We already have enough in stock, or we don't see enough demand. Then for the next 4 books, we tell her, yeah, we will buy them, but we will only pay you 30 cents for your books. So after asking about 8 books, she's very fed up, and she abandons the sale process. And she thinks, okay, rebuy, Recommerce, that's not for me. I feel kind of scammed. I don't get good prices here. So how do we solve this? So just to quickly recap, in the past, we would look at the intent of a customer to sell something to us, which then leads potentially to a transaction. And every time a customer would complete a transaction and would want to sell something to us again the next time, they would have to restart the whole process. They would need to add again the items that they want to sell. They would need to see how much we are paying, and so on and so forth. So now what we are doing with Smart CRM is we are basically injecting inventory between the intent and the transaction. So our goal is now that we want the customer not to just add the products they want to sell right away to us, to the app, but we want them to add as many of the media products they have at home to our app, so we can create value for them in the future. So that means we basically encourage customers to build a digital twin of their home inventory, basically a copy of their media shelf at home. And by doing this, we can remind them in the future when prices change, when we are suddenly buying products that we didn't buy at the time when the customer added the product to the app, when prices suddenly change, and so on and so forth, and create really value for the customer and not just at one point in time. So how does that look in practice? So in our app, so most customers use our mobile app to sell products to us. So they take the barcode scanner, they scan a book, and they get a price offer from us. And then they can decide whether they want to add it to their sales cart. Then they take the next product, they scan again and again and again, so they have to make a lot of decisions in a row. So for every product that they try to inquire about, they need to then decide whether they are happy with the price and add it to their basket. And there's something like decision fatigue, so when you have to make a lot of decisions in a row, you get very tired quickly. and you suddenly don't want to make decisions anymore, so you stop adding products to your cart. So how are we doing this now is that you still have the barcode scanner, but it's much more quicker. So you get the barcode, we just give you a quick notification that we identified the product correctly, and we just add it to the total amount in the bottom of the screen. And you can just continue scanning all the products that you want to eventually sell to us. And you don't have to decide yet whether you actually want to sell it right now or just keep it on your digital inventory shelf. So that creates a lot less friction. And we see very promising results that customers are scanning a lot more products compared to the old way. So now, when customers actually have products in their digital inventory in our app, how do we get them to sell these products to us? So in the past, you would do a one-size-fits-all campaign where we would put on our website a big 10% voucher that everyone that wants to sell media products to us right now is applicable to get. And for some customers, that might be really attractive. For other customers, that might not be attractive at all. And we also pay 10% more even for items that we don't necessarily need. But now that we basically have this digital twin of the customer's inventory living in the app and also in our database, we know what products the customer has scanned in the past, which products the customer has already sold to us, and which ones are still at home in his shelf. So that allows us, in turn, to create a lot more value and be a lot more targeted for our customers. So we can send, for example, Petra, who was very frustrated in the earlier example, a push notification and tell her, hey, the 8 books that you scanned that are on your inventory list, we now want to buy them, and we actually want to give you 15% more than we did in the past. Or we do also something like basket pricing, where we try to be a problem solver for customers. And we tell them, hey, all the media items that you have in your digital inventory, we are buying them from you. Even the ones where we said in the past we don't want to buy them because they are very old or we don't see a demand, we will now buy them all. You can all send them to us, and you get one flat fee for that. So, of course, we also look at the results, and I would say they are quite promising. So comparing all these different tests and rollouts that we did, we see around 7.4% higher trade-in growth for relevant items. And relevant items are all items where we see a high demand right now for, so that we really need in our warehouse to sell to customers on the website. And in addition, we have this really nicely scaled pipeline of potential products. So across our millions of customers, we have around 3 million unique products that we are tracking, that they have in their digital inventory. And behind that are 40 million items. And this allows us to have a really highly personalized access to these customers and to these products. And whenever we see a need for certain products, we can then go out and contact these customers. So I realize Recommerce is a very unique business model. So probably most of you are saying, okay, what do I care? I'm not buying and selling used products. What does it mean for my company? So I want to leave you with 3 key takeaways. So the first one I think is very important is you need to personalize your CRM approach. So, and by personalizing, I don't mean you put the name of your customer in the header of your email, but you actually meet your customer at a transactional touch point where it's valuable for the customer. Are they currently, do they have something in their cart? Do you know a little bit more about where they were browsing? So, and I think with the emergence of more and more AI tools and better customer segmentation, that gets easier and easier nowadays. Then the second point I would say is create context. So you need to explain to the customer why are you contacting them at this point in time and with that specific message. So I kind of said a little bit challenging here, one size fits all is dead. I wouldn't say it's necessarily dead, but it works still for big events like Cyber Monday, Black Friday, or if you want to have a really big campaign. But overall, I think customers are so tired of getting the same messages from all the different shops that they really want to understand, why am I getting this message at this point in time? And then last but not least, you should bring a benefit by communicating with your customer. So communication is not a one-way street, and it must be a service and it shouldn't be annoying. So I know there's always the temptation to send a lot of newsletters, especially when you have sales pressure to activate your customers. But in the end, this will just lead to more churn, and you really lose a valuable access as a communication channel to your customers, and you also lose the trust of your customers. So looking at this from a customer lifetime perspective, it's really, really important that the customer perceives your communication as a benefit. So thank you very much for your time. And if you want to keep in touch, you can find me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to answer any open questions.
Which CRM are you using?
We are using Salesforce Marketing Cloud.
And I was wondering, with the digital inventory, do your offers expire, or the prices, are they time bound, or how will customers get updates in case your pricing changes?
So usually we reserve the prices for 48 hours. And then we allow to downprice the prices if they change. In general, what we are experimenting with right now is to also let the customers decide, hey, do you want to get a notification when the prices change only by 20%, or do you already want to get a notification when they change by 10%? So give the customer even more control when it's actually interesting for them to get a notification.
Okay, but the inventory that the customer builds will stay online for however long he decides.
Exactly. So the customer is in full control. So what we do is, when the customer sells some of the inventory to us, we basically take it out of the inventory so they don't have to do it themselves. But the customer can also always say, hey, I don't want to track this item anymore, take it out of my digital inventory.